Hi there, and welcome back to the channel. So, the other day I talked about nutrition coaching and what nutrition coaches and personal trainers can and cannot do with regards to helping people with their nutrition and their diet. So today I wanted to discuss just a little bit about different diets and kind of why a lot of them don't end up working out for people. One of the biggest things with diets that people run into problems is that so many of them limit what you can and cannot eat to the point where it's difficult for people to keep up with the diet. For instance, there's the Atkins diet, which limits certain macronutrients. Anything where you're really limiting macronutrients, that's your fats, your proteins, and your carbohydrates. If you're limiting those really badly, you're not going to be able to stick to it. Especially with diets that limit carbs, because a majority of what we eat have carbs in them. And our body actually thrives on carbs for fuel. So anything where it's saying don't eat too many carbs or eat absolutely no carbs is going to be a very hard diet to sustain anyway. I know my dad was diabetic, so I know when it comes to diabetes, that is one macronutrient that you do need to limit, but that's due to the fact that with diabetes, it makes it difficult for the body to break down the sugars and the carbohydrates for the fuel. So you really need to limit carbs if you're diabetic. But the majority of us aren't diabetic, so we don't really need to limit our carbs. I know a lot of people try to push, eat more proteins, eat no fats, and so forth to burn all the fat off and lose weight that way. The thing is, if you eat a lot of protein, or you eat a lot of carbohydrates, or you eat a lot of fats, but then don't use that fuel for anything, it doesn't matter what it is you're putting in your mouth, it's going to be turned into fat when it gets broken down in your body, because that's what our body does. Any fuel gets stored as fat cells. So if you eat a lot of protein, but you're not going out and doing a lot, maybe you'll start losing a little bit of weight because of the body breaking down so much fat, because it's like, oh, we're not getting any fats, we're not getting any carbs, we need to break down what we have in here. But eventually, all the protein you're putting in will just turn into more body fat. So it'll make no difference whatsoever. You can say, oh, I'm eating all the protein, I'm eating this, I'm eating that, but you're gonna end up gaining, like the first few weeks you might lose some weight, but you'll just end up boomeranging. And that's the problem with a lot of commercial diets, a lot of fad diets, is they say, hey, we can get you to lose X amount of weight in a matter of 2 weeks if you follow our diet. Yeah, with a lot of those instances, yes, you will lose the weight in the 2 weeks because they're limiting what you can eat. So you're going to lose weight in that regard, but it's not going to do anything for you in the long run, because it's not sustainable. You cannot keep the diet going. you'll eventually get to the point where you're thinking, why am I just gaining weight? I was losing weight. Why am I gaining it? And then you'll just break out of the diet anyway, go back to your old habits, and say, forget it. So that's a big problem with a lot of fad diets, because they're not sustainable. So people fall in for them thinking, oh, it's like the get-rich-quick schemes. I'll lose a lot of weight fast, so it'll be a diet that I can do. And then once they start gaining the weight back, they get discouraged and start eating their old ways again, and then they just gain the weight back. So it's basically, be careful with fad diets. I'm not saying don't try them. They might, you might find one that works for you. That's fine. But the way I've been trained for dieting is you try something for a couple weeks, you monitor how your weight's doing. If you're seeing it going down, great. Keep it up, but keep monitoring. Once you hit that plateau where you're not losing any more weight, or if you start gaining weight again, you know it's time to start switching things around, try something else. So, I said in my other video that every diet works differently for each person. Metabolism's different from person to person, allergies, likes, dislikes, etc. It's all different. That's why there's no one diet that works for everyone. So always be on the lookout for a diet that might work for you, or just to try something new if you've hit that plateau. The other thing that is extremely important, you should never fall for the diets where in the commercials they say, oh, all you need to do is eat like me and you'll lose weight. That's not going to happen. Like I said before, you'll have those first couple weeks where, because you're restricting what you can eat, you'll lose a little bit of weight, but after a little while, it goes the opposite direction. Oh, you don't need to exercise, just eat what I eat. No. Exercise, working out is one of the most important things to do if you want to lose weight. I can tell you from experience, because when I was in college, I barely ate anything during the day. I'd wake up, I'd have a little bit of breakfast, I'd go to school at 7 in the morning, and I'd be there until 7 at night a lot of days, or at least until like mid-afternoon. But there were times where I was there from 7 a.m. until like 9 o'clock at night. And you know what I survived on? A bottled drink that I brought with me. And vending machine pretzels and chips. Really healthy, isn't it? And yeah, I managed to keep my weight down because I was eating like a bird. But the thing too was, I was burning calories while also not adding anything on, really. So that was the only reason I was losing any weight, but eventually everything kind of evened out, and I just kind of plateaued. I was always pretty much the same weight all through college, because that's how I lived. Then I'd come home, I'd, have dinner or snack or whatever, or both. Then I'd get up and do the same thing over again. So I managed to keep like a steady 160 pounds constantly, just from the fact that I not really eat anything during the day. So that can be done. It's not healthy to do, though. You need to be eating healthy, getting all your nutrition, getting all the micro and macronutrients, and still being active to keep yourself in good shape. So I can tell you that it works, but it's not recommended at all to do that. We need energy, we need fuel, we need to be able to do something. If I kept up the way I was, I probably would be in worse shape than I am now. I gained a lot of weight when I got to work because I wasn't doing like I did in college. I'd get up, I'd work for a few hours, I'd come home, and I'd eat, and I'd snack, and I'd snack, and I'd snack. And that was not healthy at all. And then I get to the point, oh, I'm weighing too much, I'll go out for a walk, this and that. But anyway, I'll actually go in more in depth with my own journeys that I've been on in another video. But I just wanted to throw that out there that, yeah, I've been through that. You can do it, but don't. It's not good. So, you need to have a proper balanced diet, and you need to be active to keep in good shape so that you're not in pain, so that you're not, so that you basically live your life always in a healthy state. So, anyway, I think that's all for today. I'll go more in depth with diets and other things with nutrition in other videos, but I just wanted to kind of throw that out there to be careful with diets that you see, say, the miracle diet that everyone needs to do. Like the one thing is Weight Watchers I can recommend because that's not a, hey, eat what we tell you. That's a, you're given like a list and you're told, this is what these foods represent. It's like a point system. So you're allotted so many points per day, and yeah. So you can eat what you want, but you need to ration it, kind of thing. Which is kind of what dieting is more about. It's not saying, hey, eat this and you'll miraculously lose weight. So, Weight Watchers, yes. Crash diets, fad diets, be very careful. I've even seen something on Twitter and Facebook recently with, oh hey, yeah, for breakfast, eat a small cup of yogurt, and then for lunch have a carrot stick and some nuts or something, and then dinner have some. No, that's like what I was doing in college. No, don't do that. That is not healthy. You cannot sustain yourself. You will burn yourself out because your body will be like, I can't survive on what you're putting in. I'm going to start eating myself. And eventually your body will start eating at its own muscles for sustenance. You do not want that. Your body is built so that you burn fat, burn carbs, at the very least burn muscle. But you do not want to burn muscle because that'll weaken you and then you'll be in an even worse state. So be very, very careful with any diets you see out there. That's all. I know I said that's all before and then I remembered some stuff, so this is it now. If there's anything else, leave a comment below, like and subscribe, and I've got my Patreon link in the description as well, so please look into that. I'm going to be working on setting up a website for training and nutrition coaching in the future, virtually. So if anyone's interested in that, let me know. I'll have that link in the description when I get it done. So, thank you for watching. Remember, till next time, we're in it for the long run. Peace and love.